Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning on Voice of the People Television. On the list of Nigerians this morning, we have the presidential jet. Now, some people will not ask again, is it here or not? The presidency has unveiled a new luxury Airbus A330 acquired under President Tinubu's administration, despite criticism, replacing the 19-year-old Boeing B737-700 BBJ purchased during President Olusegun Obasanjo's tenure. Bayo Ononoga, the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, shared images of the new aircraft on Monday. Responding to criticism over the timing of the purchase, especially amid widespread economic hardship, the presidency defended the acquisition, stating that the new jet would ultimately save Nigeria millions of dollars. Many Nigerians have expressed concern, citing the ongoing austerity measures and hunger that have led to, some people protesting against the government. The new plane is equipped with state-of-the-art avionics, a customized interior, and advanced communication system. It includes a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, an office, a conference and dining room, as well as first-class and economy seating at the rear. And also, it's important to note that this aircraft have been used for 15 years. We have with us in the studio to help extra and make sense of this topic this morning, Prince Francis Chilaka, who is a political and public affairs analyst. And also, we have Mr. Segun Shobito, Chairman, Accountability Condor and Transparency Network. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you in the studio this morning.
Thank you.
Now, we're no longer asking whether we bought the presidential jet or not. Ababio told us that the only thing they need is a nod. Once the president said we need a private jet, and they will just give their nod to go ahead. And he made this statement when Nigerians are talking about how hunger has been killing a lot of people in Nigeria, how we have multidimensional poverty happen to be what some Nigerians are talking about, and now we have a new fleet. Reason for buying this is that they don't want to happen in other places to happen to the president in Nigeria. Mr. Chilaka, you've been smiling, Prince. What do you have to say about this?
Do we really have a government in this country? Do we really have leaders who have the spirit of patriotism coming out of them? Do we? We don't. This is not leadership. This is crass arrogance, the height of it. We just have a situation where you have a National Assembly that has been consumed by the executive arm of government. Because how can we be talking about a new aircraft? First and foremost, the government denied buying a new aircraft. And then in order to launch it, you think Nigerians are stupid? You think Nigerians are daft? You want to launch a new aircraft, you now tell us a Chinese firm has seized your sovereignty. Do you know what that means? That's a slap on the integrity of Nigerians. And you want people to make sacrifices. You want people to bear with you. You want people to endure. Yet, you're living a life of affluence. A life that, we can't even imagine. Meanwhile, don't forget, the wife of this same president came out and told Nigerians on a national broadcast that they have so much money. They do not need the wealth or the resources of Nigeria. So what is playing out now? What we have had, right from Buhari down to this president, are people who believe that the national cake must be eaten by them at all costs.
I was going to come to the question of, did Nigerians misunderstand the president when he said it was his turn? Should Nigerians have asked, exactly turn to do what? Is this his turn to take from the national cake, or is it his turn to serve the people? Should we have asked that question for clarity?
A few days back, I had to go and watch a video. I think it was a meeting in either in Ogun State or your state during the campaigns, when he was talking about, when he actually mentioned the word Emilocon, and that he says that the presidency has been zoned to the south, then to the southwest, and if it is to the southwest, it is his turn. He was very clear about that. What that simply means is that it is my turn to eat what everybody has been eating. We need to come to that realization in this country that things are not working well. Our leaders are not leaders. They are mere rulers.
Okay. We'll get let's get Segun into the conversation now. is this a good deal for Nigeria? Should we be troubled? I know, should we be like, okay, it's a luxury plane. Does the president need a luxury plane? Or should we go with the fact that, oh yes, it was supposed to go for 600 million, but we got it for 800 million. Good deal, isn't it? Now, as you respond to the question, let's take an excerpt from what the president's spokesman did say. He said, the Airbus A330 is a prudent investment for Nigeria, offering enhanced safety, comfort, efficiency, and national pride. Emphasis on that word. This upgrade will serve the nation's interests and project a positive image of Nigeria on the global stage. Feels like
you know, this is bordering on the ridiculous, you know. I think, look, every administration has always had a court jester who pretends to be a spokesperson. And I think Bayo Onanuga is the new court jester in this administration who insults, you know, the intelligence and the sensibilities of Nigerians on a daily basis. You know, how can you talk about prudence when you're talking about luxury and comfort? You know, especially, you know, and I think this is the key problem, especially in a season where there's untold hardship. You know, as I was driving here this morning, the queue at the Mobile filling station down on Airport Road has extended past this location. That's over almost 2 kilometers long queue here on this airport road, International Airport Road, you know. And as I was coming, I saw those queues everywhere. You know, you see it on the news, you see Nigerians wasting man hours on these queues. And then Mr. Onanuga has the effrontery. You know, this administration, the level of insensitivity and is almost beginning to look as if there is a deliberate intention to harm Nigerians. You know, because if it wasn't so, then why this arrogant bravado, you know, complete uncaring insensitivity? You know, no, we are not overreacting. Look, Nigerians are, let me not say we, Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are suffering. People are unable to feed. It's as basic as that. You know, when the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we're right at the bottom of that pyramid. Most Nigerians are right at the bottom of that. Food to live till the next day, they cannot eat. And then we're talking about 150 billion and we're saying we've saved money. You know, what's wrong with us?
Yes.
There's a problem somewhere.
All right, Shegu, it's good that you mentioned saving money. And Bayo Onanuga did talk about prudence. You know, yeah. Mr. Chilaka, let me come to you on this. Mr. Bayo Onanuga said that Nigeria is going to save millions of dollars by purchasing this aircraft. Why? Because the old one was probably consuming a lot of fuel and had a lot of maintenance costs. Don't you think the presidency or the president deserves a new aircraft?
Let me also put the question
based on the fact that, look, they have come out to say they are going to save millions
now
of
that
dollars.
you're trying to play the devil's advocate, let me also put the question to you.
No.
As a father,
this is coming from.
No, I'm putting it to the same Bayo that has lost every sense of reasoning. A man who lives in a house, he doesn't understand what people are going through to get fuel. He doesn't understand how much a cup of garri is costing. He doesn't understand how much a cup of rice is costing. Is coming to tell you that in a time when there is hunger, when there is starvation, when poverty is staring everybody in the face, you're telling me that spending 150 million to buy an aircraft for Mr. President is savings. Is Bayo okay?
Is it that they don't understand, or is it a speaker acting?
Because don't forget, we just came out of 10 days protest against hunger and bad governance. And then this government is still telling Nigerians, go to hell. There is no difference from what Bayo is saying and what the presidency has done from what the Senate President said just before the protest. There is no difference. Like Shegu said, this government is insensible and unfair. They have no empathy towards the lives of Nigerians. That's just it. They don't care. Go to the hospitals. Yesterday, on Sunday, I was at the General Hospital, Bagada. You will see people lined up outside, unable to buy drugs. They just have the prescriptions in their hands. They don't have the money to buy it. What kind of government is this? Why is this government taking Nigeria for a ride? What has this government done? This is going to 2 years. Tell me one thing this government has achieved, if not to punish Nigerian people. Tell me one thing.
Some Nigerians are of the opinion that Nigerians can still feed, Nigerians can still afford a few things, and those speaking against the government are just, those being sponsored by political gladiators.
Moses, hold on there.
How do you
your office is not far from Oshodi. Oshodi Saleh. Go there and look at the faces of the young men you see there, and tell me what you see on their faces. Maybe that will help you understand the current situation. Yesterday I went to buy bread. But I couldn't even buy the bread because I went to buy bread and some boys were standing outside the bakery. And listen, all they told me was that, Oga, as they buy this bread, you will give us. The question now, tell me, how do you want me to react? How do you want me to feel as a Nigerian?
The question is, if it was that dire for Nigerians, maybe something else would have been done. But the fact that Nigerians are not, holding the government by the throat means that Nigerians are doing relatively okay.
Well, thank God you were in Lagos, and you were in Nigeria when the hunger protests took place. You saw government, so to say, in quotes, paying people to protest against protesters. You see, what this government has done is clear. Create poverty. And once the people are poor and hungry, look for the few. You can give 5,000 and let them disrupt the entire system. It's not that Nigerians are not hungry. But honestly, I do not know the kind of God that created the Nigerians and gave them the kind of patience they have. That's just it. I don't know where that God is from.
One of the most happiest people in the world, as it stands.
Now, talking about patience, Mr. Shegu, what do you think Nigerians should do in this matter?
Look, it's a difficult situation that we find ourselves because we can't call people to take up arms, right? Ultimately, it's all about engagement. And how do you engage with the governance process beyond what Nigerians have been doing, right? We have protested. Look, let us not forget, and it's important for us to remember these things, that during the campaigns, the president said categorically, we will remove subsidies. You can protest all you want, but I'm going to remove subsidies. And there's nothing you can do about it. So what can Nigerians do? Honestly, between you and I'm kind of at a loss. I know what I think we should do, but can we muster the will? Can we muster the energy, the unity of voice and purpose? You see, there's something he said, that government has found a way. First, you pauperize the people. So you have weaponized poverty. This one is not new. It's something that's been happening for decades. But what this government has also done is that they have now weaponized tribe and religion to further completely divide us. The people that will lead change. This protest that we just saw didn't just happen. It was planned. And it was planned by members of what I call the educated elite, the educated middle class. They are the ones that galvanized and organized this protest. But unfortunately, that group of people who are always the harbingers of change in all societies are desperately divided in Nigeria. We have people who are seeing what this president is doing, but who keep saying, oh, he's doing well, give him time. I have friends, my friends, people that I went to school with, I've known for 40 years, who are trusted people, and they're saying things, and I'm just looking at them, and I don't recognize them because I wonder where their humanity disappears.
Why do you think that is so?
It's because the political class, especially this particular president and his team, has weaponized tribalism and religion. So people they suspend logic and reason on the altar of, oh, he's our turn. And I'm telling you, professors, these friends I'm talking about, I have vice chancellors, it's been long that we left school. Sons, and you listen to them and they say, look, it's our turn. And I'm just wondering, how can you say that? Where is the benefit of your education, of your exposure? All the travels that you have done all over the world. We know that religion and tribalism, you can't take it out of policy anywhere in the world. Even when you look at the American campaigns now, you can see Trump playing on the Christian thing and all that. It happens everywhere. But in Nigeria, It has been used to divide us to the point where we now are completely helpless and at the mercy of these guys. And they will do whatever they want and nothing will happen.
Shegu, thanks very much. You know, I ask this question in the light of the fact that, you know, we gather every day, you know, to x-ray Nigeria, to banter, talk about Nigeria, share ideas. But I think we should be more like solution-driven.
Absolutely. I
You get the point. That's why I asked the question, what do we do? Mr. Chilaka,
when you talk of solution, it's, you prefer a solution to somebody who's listening. First of all, you need to admit that what you're doing is wrong.
No, I'm not talking to government. Nigerians.
Wait,
what do we as Nigerians do?
You see, there's nothing you can talk about solution outside the leadership.
No, this is the leadership we gave ourselves.
You can't. This is the leadership that was imposed on the people.
So what don't go there.
Don't go there, please. No. Now the thing is this. The solution is this.
Yes.
First and foremost, the solution is, what is the problem? Our problem is bad governance.
Good.
Clueless leadership. Do we agree with that?
Absolutely.
If we agree with that, what is the solution? The solution is, let the people begin to hold everybody accountable. Everybody.
How can people hold people accountable when, to recall your lawmaker, the process is a cumbersome one? How then can you hold people accountable?
Moses, this is why I have always said, for us to get it right, that we all agree that everything has gone bad. And for us to get it right, we need to all together stand, like we keep saying, we the Nigerian people have endorsed this constitution, which I am not part of. The 1999 constitution needs to be pulled down to start with. You need to shred that document and have something that resonates, that reflects the reality of the Nigeria of today. A document that makes a governor become a lord. A government that when you elect the local government chairman, he uses your money, builds a borehole, invites the whole community, and puts his picture there. We need to stop that rubbish. It is absolutely rubbish. I'm coming. We need to stop that. Thirdly, we need to have a very transparent electoral process. We need to make sure that electoral process is such that even INEC must be able to vet the credentials of candidates. We should stop this whole thing of putting party first.
But these were the
what we have in Nigeria today is that, what we have in Nigeria today is that people are more loyal to a political leader, a political party, than being patriotic.
This is where Nigerians actually come up with a hashtag End Bad Governance protest that leads to thousands of them being arrested by police. To the point that Amnesty International made us to know that we have over thousands of people in police detention. Now, do you actually think that with the way it is going now, the Nigerians can actually say something?
Nigerians will.
Exactly.
Nigerians will. And when they will say it, it will be loud.
From the body language of the Senate president, before this...
No. Call his name, not Senate President. Don't call him Senate President. We do not have a Senate right now.
Prince Chilaka, from the body language of the President of the Senate, he told Nigerians that there is no amount of, in quote, in his word, no amount of blackmail, emotional blackmail will make them not to buy this presidential jet.
But they're denying that they don't even know about it.
And also the Senate Committee Chairman on National Security and Intelligence, Shehu Buba, also made us understand that the procurement of this new jet is to avert what happened in Malawi and also in the Arab state. Now, don't you think that going over, in the words of Bayo Ononuga now, buying this presidential fleet below the cost price, even though it is it's already 15 years old against the 19-year-old that we have in Nigeria, is a way also for them to, mitigate cost of governance and spending in Nigeria?
Who appropriated this purchase? Who approved this purchase?
The Senate went on a recession. They had to come back immediately on emergency to have a meeting.
If you have followed the news trend since yesterday, the Senate said that they didn't appropriate this. They don't know about it. So who appropriated it? When we say that the executive arm of government has subsumed the legislative and the judiciary, people think we're just talking.
Now, do you believe that the Senate did not know about this? Seeing that the 2023 supplementary budget was extended.
This Senate doesn't know anything.
Even when the president told us if the president said anything about the jet, he would just give a note.
If like you said, Akpabio had said that no matter the intimidation,
No, not intimidation,
well, it's still the same thing. And then you are saying that the House Committee chairman have also said that, like Bayo Adenuga, it's meant to avert. Why is it that this government is not averting hunger in the land?
Okay.
Are they not thinking out of the box?
Sorry, very quickly. I think this is important for public information.
All right.
The two aircraft that we are putting on sale were purchased by President Olusegun Obasanjo. This democracy is 25 years old, right? Which means those planes are less, they're round
19
about...
years.
19 years old.
They said 19
years old.
Yes.
So we have sold a 19-year-old aircraft to buy a 15-year-old aircraft, and we say we're saving money. You know, in the average age of aircraft, before you can start talking of the need for maintenance and change, 20, 25 years, 30 years, you are still maintaining aircraft and they are running smoothly. So let nobody pull the wool over our eyes and tell us that this has anything to do with safety or anything. This was just a jamboree by a president who is obsessed with shiny toys. So in the space of 6 months, he has bought a yacht, he has bought an Escalade that is almost ₦1 billion. So, I mean, look at that vehicle, it's a beast. You know, any man will look at it and say, wow, I want this. You know, that's what's going on. This man is just on a spending spree to fulfill his life ambitions of luxury and opulence as a president. That's what's going on. Forget all this.
Okay, Shegu, I'd like for you to talk about the fact that we were talking about approval. There's something in legislation or in purchases called anticipatory approval. You know, you anticipate that you get approval for something, and then in cases of emergency, you can go ahead, you know, to do that. The question now is the anticipatory approval powers of the president. Does it extend up to $100 million? And the fact that, look, the president is already aware that whatever I do, like Akpabio said, I will have my way. What's the larger implication of the whole thing?
The only time that anticipatory approval should even come into the conversation when it comes to governance issues, especially between two separate arms of government who are supposed to be counter-checking each other.
But this is a governance issue. We are talking about the presidential jet
so the only
for our president.
The only time that you should even be contemplating using that word anticipatory approval. In other words, you are going ahead before appropriation.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
In cases of emergency.
Is in case of emergency or war. In case of national emergency, maybe there is a crisis, there is, you know, natural disaster, or, you know, so a particular part of the country is under risk. So, for example, you want to call a state of emergency. You go ahead, and then you go and get the Senate's approval. This is just buying of a plane. Right. What is the emergency here? Which safety? I just told you now that the plane that we sold was 19 years old. Which safety?
And you're buying one of 15 years.
The only time also that you can talk of anticipatory approval, very importantly, is when you are talking of departments. So it's like National Assembly, we should call it National Assembly Department of the Executive. Because they are no longer an independent arm.
All right.
It's very sad.
Now, you said something. I want to come back to that. You talked about, when you were talking about what Nigerians should do, you talked about the electoral process and rejigging the electoral process, INEC and the rest. Now, an organization has come up to reveal findings from a research that elections held in some states, off-cycle elections held in some states, showed rigging, but it wasn't about the beavers now, because we saw that from that research, accreditation had a certain number, and then we had a human input going forward that increased the number. Is this an INEC thing or a people thing? Because the names of those that manned the PUs during those elections were revealed, and it's alleged that these are the people that tampered with the figures before they got to the collation centers, before they got to INEC, where announcement was made. Should we as Nigerians, seeing that some of us, some of our brothers, our neighbors, our friends participated in shortchanging the people, should we be focusing on the government, or should we talk to ourselves, really?
Do you know why a lot of organizations these days are adopting clocking? It's to avert a situation of ghost workers and to also ensure that only people who come to work get paid. And that is what the beavers were supposed to do. The Vivas is meant to accredit you.
Is it a problem with our
I'm coming. I'm coming. No, I'm coming. No.
Or a problem with
no.
us?
You see,
as a people?
INEC with this current INEC chairman should not be passing the buck. If this machine is meant to clock in all the staffs in VOP, and today we have 10 staffs that have clocked in, it means that at the end of the month, on this particular day of that month, only 10 people will be paid their salaries. But if after the clocking, the HR is now telling you that 15 people came to work, who do you hold responsible? It's the HR. This is something that INEC gave to Nigerians.
So we hold INEC responsible.
INEC should be held responsible. INEC is the one that is creating the falsehood. They're the ones that is manufacturing different records. It's not the people. Because if the beavers is being used, and the beavers is telling you that you have 541 people, and INEC result is 700 and something people, where is it coming from? Did you break into the server? Or is it part of the glitch we had during the presidential election?
Okay.
You see, Mr. Chilaka, thanks very much, for all that you have said. I want to walk back to you because I am kind of bothered. Like I said, we'll talk about these things every day. Let us walk to a solution. What should Nigerians do? In very specific terms, to hold our leaders to account and get results.
I think the first thing, so let's be practical, and just look at what the possibilities are. The first thing, in my view, is for us as the people with a voice and a platform to unite and understand that there is a consequence for our actions. And we are the ones that are actually responsible for charting the course of this nation, not the president, because the president will only do what is permitted to do. The politicians will do what they are permitted to do. So the first practical step is we need to continue to have these conversations and hopefully touch the minds of the educated middle class, these guys that have access to power. Because we have a voice, we have a say. If people keep talking to the guys in power and reminding them that, look, the way you are going, this country will burn up, they will listen. But the problem now, the primary problem is that we can't get that unity. Every time, I keep saying this thing, every time that Nigerians have united behind an issue, governments are back down. They don't have a choice. These guys are afraid of us. So that's the first thing, we need to unite. Then we can start talking about the instruments and the processes of engaging with governance and compelling government to do the bidding of the people. Everywhere in the world, the United States, the UK, EU, no government does good by themselves. I always say this, nobody, you will never find a politician that will say, oh, I just want to, my people are wonderful, I want to help them. No, they do good because they are afraid of losing their seats. They are afraid of the people because the people engage with the process and they will remove them if they don't do well. So it has to be the same in Nigeria. Can we begin, for example, people like myself and Prince, people like you guys, as the press, media, together, can we, for example, start using the instrumentality of the courts? We know the courts are corrupt. They are corrupt. There's no doubt about that. But until you engage the process, you cannot begin to reveal these things. It's a long haul. As long as we will agree and admit that we can't carry gun, then we must begin to work this work. So can we begin to talk about engaging the courts? Can we begin to talk about using the Freedom of Information Act to demand accountability from all these people? Can we begin to talk about very disruptive protests? And I say disruptive. I use that word deliberately. See, I'm not talking about burning things. Burning factories, burning warehouses. We're only damaging ourselves. Can we, for example, agree that we want to protest and shut the Lagos State House of Assembly down and refuse to move? Like, you will kill us today. We are not leaving this place. No legislator can go in, no legislator can come out. Can we do that at the National Assembly?
Wouldn't that be going against the courts? Where we see that
How?
hashtag end that governance.
No.
Courts injunction actually restricted protesters
Excuse me.
to parks and to playgrounds.
That court order runs foul and contrary to the constitution of this country. It is unenforceable. It's absolute crass nonsense.
But that was why some people...
There's something you're saying. I need you to correct that. We don't have middle class in Nigeria anymore.
Okay.
No, we do. We do. We can't wish it away. Whether you like it or not, Prince, you are middle class. You can't run away from this truth.
Mr. Chilaka, I saw you were shaking your head in agreement with what Shiru was saying about unity.
Absolutely.
Considering our fault lines, how do we achieve that unity to the extent that Nigerians are able to mobilize themselves, use galvanizing opportunities, to ensure that we hold our leaders to account? I'm talking about national unity now. Yeah. How do we achieve that?
Let me bust the bubble a little bit. If you follow the bad governance protest, even though some miscreants in the north, decided to go the other way, but have you come to that realization right now that there's a new awakening in the north? Serious awakening in the north. I've listened to quite a number of northern leaders, talk in the last few days and weeks, and they're all saying the same thing.
Did we find that awakening in the south?
Well, I'm coming.
East and west?
No, the south, the east and the south, they're waiting.
And you don't think it's because you don't think the quietness that we saw in the southwest was because it's their own son that was there.
Okay.
And the uprising in the north is because power has shifted.
No. See, what is happening in the north is that suddenly the people are beginning to get aware of the fact that these guys are making so much money and we are not feeling the impact of it.
Suddenly?
Now, when you come to the southeast, people keep saying, oh, the southeasterners did not participate in the process. And I said, the southeasterners have been conquered before the protest. Whether we like it or not, they have been conquered. Mondays in the southeast is sit at home.
Well, we're close.
The eve of the protest, for those in the southeast, you know what transpired. Unknown gunmen went on free bullet spray and killing people. How do you want people to stay calm out? In a country where your own security is not guaranteed. This government will tell you, we've done this.
All right, so we're crossing home now.
But what we're saying is that for us, right now, like he has said, Nigerians need to throw away religion, throw away tribe, and begin to come together.
Okay, so if Nigerians are being cowed, because that's the impression that people are getting, that Nigerians are being cowed from expressing themselves, if that be the case, do we say that those that have ruled Nigeria before now are also being cowed? Because we saw the Council of State meeting where there was an echo with one voice, those that attended, that truly the hashtag End Bad Governance protest was politically motivated as against an act of hunger by the Nigerian people. There was that consensus.
Yeah, consensus amongst the oligarchs and the people. I don't even want to. I'm looking for a more wicked word. The people that have us in shackles by the jugular and are refusing to let go. It's the same set of people. The same set of people for 60 years that have held this country where it is are the ones that now say, no, it's politically motivated. What else do you expect them to say? Because they are the ones benefiting from all of this. This thing must not change. What we're seeing today as Nigeria cannot change as far as those people are concerned because they're benefiting from it. So, of course, they will say that. And they're insulated, by the way, from all of these things we're talking about. None of them lives by their own means. They live on Nigeria. All of them, all of those people in the Council of State, Nigeria still pays them some form of salary or the other.
They've all failed.
So they are absolute crash failures. All of them.
Okay, then.
Thank you
This
so
would be a
much.
good place to anchor this conversation as we get into another conversation.
Yes. Gentlemen, do stay with us as we delve into the next topic of conversation after a short break. 1 year after Tinubu declared end to fuel subsidy, Nigeria makes highest subsidy payments in 25 years. We will discuss this when we return. Do stay with us.